You're live.
Almost.
Is that cooking?
All right, hey guys.
Hello. Sorry for the little bit of delay.
It's just a chaotic day, Katie, time of year.
It is, and also, when the kids are out of school and home, it changes everything. Love them home, love breaks, but it definitely throws off your routine, right?
It does.
It does.
We wouldn't miss this though for anything.
No, of course not. So I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, and we are leading into, for those watching this live, we're leading into our holiday week.
Yeah, holiday week, right? Yeah.
Christmas coming up, and then the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of wonderful things to come in 2026 for sure. So if you've been, well, first, if you don't already, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss anything, and you can, what was that?
This microphone.
Okay. And you can share all of our information. You can also leave us feedback, comments. We really love it. It helps us, be able to help you. So if you haven't joined us previously, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, possibly 3 weeks ago, we did a call on the 4 pillars of lifespan, longevity. And I said, going forward, we will address each one of those 4 pillars on their own so we can pull in the supplements that we recommend for those pillars. And when you think of it with these pillars, it's not like first do this, and then do that. It's not these steps. You will notice that there's a synergistic approach to it all. Like we need to be doing all of this stuff, but I want to address each one separately. Each one separately to make sure we really understand it and we're grasping what we're talking about. So today we're going to discuss the inflammation and immunity link. And I want you to understand that most people are trying to boost an immune system that is already overwhelmed. If you think of it like let's think about it, an inflamed body is not going to be able to defend itself properly. And when we think of immune system, right, it's like our defense, right? It's defending us from these, pathogens, bad things, right? If you have an inflamed body, that's not going to work properly. So many of us think like, oh, I want to boost my immune system. Let's load up on high dose vitamin C, but that's not going to address the root cause of it all. It's not going to address the inflammation. I'm not saying vitamin C in higher doses during weakened immunity is a bad thing. It's just we're not addressing the root cause. And when we think about immunity, this needs to be a year-long thing, not just like as we approach cold and flu season, let's boost our immunity. I mean, yes, more things are circulating around, but you want to have a low inflammatory, or I guess low inflammation and a strong immunity year round, right? That's the important thing, not just these little seasonal things, right?
Yes, right. Correct.
Think of it like until inflammation is addressed, the immune system will never work in the way it's designed to work. So I think that like says a lot right there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, the immune cells, the immune system is really got a very clear-cut purpose. And it gets, I think, confused and overwhelmed when there is this sort of like chronic low-grade inflammatory response. It's just chronic. And that can be due to a lot of things related to lifestyle, but probably number one of them being just a overweight body would start that cascade.
Sure.
So someone that's sedentary, that's grossly overweight, is going to start that process and accelerate that process a lot faster than someone that, say, is focused on a kind of an ideal body weight.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, so we'll talk about obviously the supplements that we recommend that really address the inflammation to the immunity link,
right?
As well as lifestyle factors. We're always going to put those in there because you have to understand it's more than just one thing, right? You can't just do one little part. You got to do all the work. Really important. So if you think about inflammation, I feel like you say this often, like inflammation in itself is not bad, right? There's good inflammation.
It's good and bad, yeah.
Example of the good inflammation, I feel like you always use about the cut. Like if you cut
cuts and scrapes, of course. That's a pretty obvious one. The flu is another one. I mean, there's plenty of examples of when the immune system is super dormant, basically, and just waiting, and then there's an offense or an insult. And the body goes, bam, here, this is how we fix this problem.
Right.
Fixes the problem.
Yes. Yeah, that's the
Kind of,
acute inflammation. It's
sure.
protection, it's
That's right.
healing. It's
That's right.
supposed to be there. What we're talking about with inflammation is the chronic
Mm,
inflammation, is which can 100% equals immune dysfunction.
mm.
That's the pathway. So when inflammation never turns, I guess, yeah, chronic, it never turns off, constantly inflamed. And there's many times that you don't necessarily feel this chronic inflammation. Yes, you can. You can experience it in joint pain, inflammation. There's certain things, but you don't always get these like bold red flags or like this is inflammation going on. So it can be silent,
Sure.
which is you have to you have to be doing this stuff to make sure you're keeping that inflammation internally down. There are inflammatory markers you can get on blood tests and stuff like
Mm,
that, which
mm.
we are very big advocates about knowing your numbers, knowing what's going on, because you might look the part on the outside, but you really don't know what's going on the inside. So it's really important to know your numbers. Um,
Yeah, there's a number of markers that people should be able to get tested. They've heard of cortisol. There's cortisol. There's C-reactive protein. There's the interleukins. There's, even looking at insulin levels, your A1C, so your average blood glucose. If you're pre-diabetic, diabetic, of course, you already know if that your body is in an elevated immune response.
yeah.
Which leads to a lot of autoimmune disorders too, believe it or not. And a lot of I don't know if you're going to talk about that today or
No,
not,
but I'm
but
glad you did,
yeah, because
because the
it
auto,
gets there, right? It gets down
yeah,
to the psoriasis and the eczema. It gets down to some of the rheumatoid arthritis. It gets down to even, well, it's a little harder in the type 1 diabetes because sometimes that has a more unknown etiology, right? Like a
right.
kid, right? That's not overweight or whatever. And how does that happen? But
Yeah, no, it's very common. I actually get the emails asking about like what to do for like eczema and psoriasis, because so many people go straight to like what can I put on topically. And I'm not saying topical stuff is not helpful, but what is the root cause of that?
mm,
It's inflammation, right? So yes, the inflammation drives this autoimmunity because it really affects your immune system. So when inflammation never turns off, that's the chronic inflammation we're talking about. Your immune system signaling becomes confused. Your immune cells become exhausted, right? So they're definitely not going to be helping you. The body stays in a constant like threat state, and illness becomes easier, and recovery becomes much
illness becomes
harder,
easier. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you can't build a strong immune system on a chronically inflamed body. I want you to understand that. So again, we're just highlighting the link between this chronic inflammation and weakened immunity. Are you trying to scoot
No,
over?
no, you're good.
Okay, so what this means, inflammation must be addressed first, right?
Hmm.
Like step one. And I don't like saying steps, because I don't want you to always think about we need to do this and then we need to do that, but you have to address this chronic inflammation. Um, it's typically, like we talked about, root cause between autoimmunity, yes, frequent infections, hormonal imbalances, brain fog, chronic fatigue, gut dysfunction, joint and muscle pain. That's a common one that inflammation shows up at. You feel it in your joints, but you don't always feel the other stuff. You don't always. Maybe you feel tired, but you don't realize you have chronic fatigue. Maybe you don't even notice that you have the brain fog. You just kind of chalk it up to like, this is what's happening. But all that points to signs of chronic inflammation. So your immune system in these states becomes overreactive, not, overreactive, but ineffective, right?
Mm.
So like it's just not going to do anything. Um, think of it like this. I have this analogy. The autoimmune system stuck in inflammation is like a fire alarm that never shuts off,
Mm.
right? That's a big
Mm.
deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Imagine if there was a fire alarm never shutting off. I mean, that's what's going on inside. So you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So pulling in some supplements that we did that help. Our foundational 5-pack. I mean, it's a wonderful pack, and it has, this is like your base layer. You have to be focusing on this. And in your foundational 5-pack, we have our multivitamin men's or women's. We have our vitamin D3K2, ultra magnesium complex, factor 4, and our probiotic gut support. These are extremely important, as think of this as your base layer. Got to be doing this. Your multivitamin supplies those essential immune cofactors, supports antioxidant defense. Basically your immune system can't function without the raw materials. Got to give it the raw materials. We know our vitamin D acts as a master immune regulator. There's so much information out there about vitamin D and making sure you're at an adequate level or optimized.
Yeah, you saw that during COVID too, didn't you?
Yeah. That was like the biggest thing that pointed towards.
Well, it kept coming out, story after story after story. The people were being admitted to the hospital. The poor outcomes were associated with low vitamin D levels.
Yeah.
It was just like this super strong correlation.
Yep. And it's not that vitamin D doesn't just boost immunity; it teaches the immune system how to respond. The way it should.
It's crazy that people think, oh, it's just vitamin D. No, it's not just vitamin D. Vitamin D, it's made as a vitamin and then immediately gets converted by the kidney into a hormone.
Right.
So then, you talk about hormone balancing and how hormones interact. There's a very complicated interaction of hormones throughout the body. So it's not just one thing. It's like vitamin D is not just singly just going for bone density, which most people originally started D as like a.
Yes.
It's many of other things that it plays a role in.
Yep. 100%. Ultra magnesium complex.
Of course.
I mean,
huge player in immune health.
Right?
Huge.
Calms the nervous system, reduces inflammatory signaling, supports immune communication and recovery. But we also know that magnesium is involved in, they're saying around 600 chemical reactions in the body. But big deal, guys. You need this. You need it. A stressed nervous system creates a weakened immune system, right? You got to take care of yourself. Factor 4, you got our megas, curcumin, CoQ10, garlic, directly lowers systemic inflammation. And we always recommend, if you have chronic inflammation going on, increasing your dose, right? So we'll say on the bottle 2 per day. We personally each take 4 per day, but you can take up to 8 per day if you've got this chronic inflammation.
Well, no, hold on. It goes the other way. Now, so if you go higher, it lowers triglycerides and raises HDL. They say that at least 1 gram of omega-3 fatty acids a day is your sort of the inflammatory coverage.
Okay.
And that's a big thing because
Yeah.
that's the FDA's sort of stamp of approval on
Gotcha.
that. That's their qualified health claim that you're allowed to make on that. And that's how the drugs are used, like Lovaza and Vascepa. I think it's Vascepa. There's like 2 prescription drugs that are omega-3 fatty acids, and that's exactly
In
how
that dose to claim it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Interesting. So you got to take your omegas. If you're not addressing inflammation, you are not truly supporting immunity. Got to remember this. Probiotic gut support. Why? 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. That's a big deal. So I feel like I don't even need to go into any more detail than just knowing that you have to have a diverse, healthy gut microbiome, right? Supports immune tolerance, inflammatory control. I mean, very, very important. And I always say this.
Integrity.
Yes. And I always say this with probiotics. I feel like so many people think that if they don't feel things going on in their stomach, maybe they don't feel bloating or diarrhea or
Right,
constipation, they think that their gut is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily. If you really want to know, do the gut test, do a stool sample and see what kind of microbes are in there, what the imbalances are. But I promise you, you're going to have some dysbiosis going on. So we really need to make sure we are taking care of our guts. Then I threw in there, we have our black seed oil. What did they say? What's the name for this? Everything, or what's the saying around
cure
it?
for everything
But death.
but death.
Yeah, so that's actually what they say. The cure for everything but death. But
It's
black
like Sanskrit. Like it's sort of, what was the Shilajit one? Destroyer of weakness, conqueror of mountains.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So each one has the thing, yeah. So it supports immune modulation, not overstimulation, helps calm the inflammatory pathways, the chronic inflammatory pathways, respiratory health, histamine imbalance, cellular defense, things that get out of whack with inflammation as well. So black seed oil really is such an amazing supplement. If you guys have not started on it, you've got to. It does so much. It really does. What else did I want to say?
I think you covered the vitamins or no?
Oh, yes. Super greens.
Super green.
Super greens, foundational for inflammation control, provides your phytonutrients, your chlorophyll, your antioxidants, your polyphenols, neutralizes the free radicals that drive chronic inflammation. I mean,
phytonutrients.
The detox pathways,
That's right.
gut immune connection.
Sure.
I mean,
Ashwagandha, which is a major adaptogen, is also helpful for the stress response, and it's a super powerful adaptogen that you've been used for millennia. I mean, this is ashwagandha is a real powerful ingredient.
yes,
Most people don't realize it's in there.
100%. Yeah, and we could keep going on, throwing in other things
You could.
essential aminos
Yeah.
for immune cell repair, regeneration. Collagen peptides help support the gut lining.
Right.
CBD oil, if you're in the U.S., I mean, CBD oil is being talked about even more and more for regulating inflammatory signaling. great stuff. So, and also like too, I could throw in there our detox stuff, right? Because the toxin load will, overburden detox pathways will increase inflammation. And I feel like I could say almost everybody has an overburdened detox pathways, which is why we say we need to support our detox pathways on a regular basis by taking our chlorophyll and zeolite detox, our organic fiber,
That's right.
supporting your liver with the liver support,
Yep.
and hydrating properly with hydration amplifier. Like I say, all of our supplements that we make have very specific reasons of why we made them for whole body health with a synergistic approach. So I don't want to just keep driving them all in, but I'm letting you know, like, this could keep going on and on. Yeah, so that covers supplements for really the inflammatory immune pathways. But lifestyle, we're always going to address lifestyle because it's not just one part. Yes, supplementation is a major part of it, but you also have to sleep well. Immune repair happens during deep sleep. Have you tracked your sleep? Are you getting deep sleep? Because you can wear a simple tracker that can show you how much deep sleep you're getting. And if you're not, start
That's very
researching,
important.
reach out to me. Like, what can I do to increase my deep sleep? Because I'm noticing I'm sleeping 7 hours a night, but my deep sleep is very, very low. That's when we repair. Big, it's really important there. Blood sugar balance, you did talk about that, right?
Right? Insulin resistance is going to be your number one. And where does that start? Tends to be overweight. So I'm sorry, but I always try to get back to the most basic root cause, which
Yes.
is sedentary lifestyle, overweight, and eating a lot of ultra processed food.
Right. Tends to lead to
Trigger,
those
boom, boom,
things.
boom, boom, boom. It's a downhill
Obesity,
sort of
blood sugar balance,
snowball.
insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, cancers. I mean,
Can't sleep,
it's kind of
stress
like it
response is
starts
up.
down here and it just builds upon each other. So you got to move. Consistent, moderate movement lowers those
doubt.
inflammatory markers.
Sure.
Overtraining does increase immune stress. So, when we say movement, again, consistent, moderate movement. Stress management, which is very
Right.
important, which you talked about the ashwagandha or super greens. We have talked about the magnesium.
That's right.
You do know this. When you are under stress, you are so prone to getting sick, right? You've got this inflammation going on. Your immune system is weak. So we've got to take care of our stress management. And I think for me personally, I think stress is the hardest thing to work on because you actually really have to work on it. It's
Yes.
really hard. For me, eating well, exercising, focusing on my sleep, that comes much easier for me personally. Stress is hard. You have to sit down and do it. It's not just going to happen. No one's going to do it for you. We talked about the toxin load and detox. So many important things, lifestyle measures that you need to do to be able to take care of yourself, lower your chronic inflammation, build a strong immune system, stay well. Yeah, all the above. What else? Were there questions? I'm just going to peek in through here. But I appreciate you guys all joining us live. I know it's hard to join live, but you guys, we always have this recorded. You do know that. A lot of holiday wishes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah for those celebrating right now.
I think it just ended. All right. I mean, great comments. I don't see many questions, and I'm sorry if I'm not getting to you. If there are questions that you guys wrote in that are not being answered, make sure you always email me. You guys have my email. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
I mean, again, great comments. But I do feel like this is very self-explanatory. But if you any other comments or questions, please make sure you reach out to me. Remember that health doesn't begin with more supplements. It begins by calming inflammation with the supplements, with the lifestyle factors that we discussed, and knowing that the supplements help all of those lifestyle factors, right? The supplements can help you with your stress. They can help you with your detox. They can help you move better because you're feeling more comfortable, less inflamed. Help with your blood sugar. Immune system is built by creating the right internal environment. And that's really what we're doing here. It's not advanced medicine. This is nothing advanced.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
This is foundational
Yeah,
health.
foundational, functional.
Yeah. So
Really is, honestly.
it really is.
It's so refreshing in a way to have a simplified approach to it. Things get complicated though because you start feeling like crap for so long, and you go to a physician, and then you end up with a pile of meds. The article I was reading this morning was the polypharmacy issue in our senior population. It's like whatever the statistic was, it was high, is on 6 or more meds.
Right.
Then 8 or more, and then another statistic for 10 or more meds. And believe it or not, a significant portion is at 15 or more medications. Can you imagine that?
Is that why you said to me this morning that we need to do another
Drug-induced
nutrient depletion?
Zoom on drug-induced nutrient depletion? Because
we'll bring that back.
I actually don't think we ever really did one. We can look.
It was a long
But
time ago.
guys, prescription drugs can deplete the body of vital nutrients and minerals. And while it can help treat symptoms, it often does not address root cause.
Right.
And so that's why, like you said, this is a very sort of functional, holistic approach to.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation starter, really. It's not telling you like, hey, this is going to fix, cure, treat, prevent, mitigate any of your disease, disease process. But if you incorporate these things into lifestyle, there's 100% guarantee you're going to feel a difference. You're going to improve some metric, whether it's your blood work, whether it's your sleep, whether it's your just pure subjective, how you feel, the energy you have. So those are the types of things we're trying to help you guys achieve.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Remember, take home message with this: reduce inflammation first, support immunity second. Everything else works better after that.
Got it.
Take care of you guys. Take care of yourselves, and thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week, and I guess during this week, have a Merry Christmas.
Christmas this week, y'all.
Bye.
Bye now.